Hi, everyone. This is JayAsh, one of the hosts of the Casual Chaos podcast. Podcast you are about to listen to discusses gambling and wagering on sporting events. Please be advised the gambling and sports wagering content during this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial or gambling advice. Sports wagering involves significant risk. If you choose to gamble, please do so responsibly and only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. All opinions, wagering tickets discussed, or implied wagers on the Casual Chaos podcast are not guarantees to result in financial gain. You must be 21 years or older or of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction to participate in sports wagering. Please verify the gambling and sports wagering laws and regulations within your jurisdiction prior to placing bets. Listeners are solely responsible for their own wagering decisions and outcomes. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. We encourage everyone to engage with sports betting responsibly. The host and the Casual Cast podcast assume no liability for any losses incurred as a result of listening to this content. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chaos. This is the Casual Chaos podcast, the Sports Wagering Community. I'm JayAsh. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Jeff and Bubba. What's going on, fellas?
JayAsh, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Jay, living a life, man.
What's up, Bubba? What's going on, man?
Happy opening day.
Happy opening day. Is it opening day for Major League Baseball or the Casual Chaos podcast?
Say both, honestly.
Yeah, I guess that ties.
Yankees won. That's all that matters, right? On pace for 162-0, so we're good.
I have heard that opening day results do actually dictate who wins the World Series.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, fact check it.
The Yankees have the most World Series championships of all time, so I bet you they have the most opening day championships of all time, but
we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
that is true.
We'll have somebody look into that. Yeah, somebody will look into it. Not us, though.
All right. Well, listen, this has been a long time coming. I'm glad it's happening. I think the big thing for the audience is they need to figure out why we're here. We know why we're here, but what do you think? Should we let them in on the secret?
Fire away.
All right.
Sure.
Well, audience, soon-to-be fans, already friends, however you want to figure this out. What we're doing here is we're trying to, kind of take what we've been doing for a long time, which is, wagering on sports, the occasional sports bet, if you will. For some of us on this pod, it's been a long time. For others, they may or may not be new to it. But everybody who's in the game, the sports wagering game, you've got text threads with your buddies. You've been talking about your highs, your lows, your wins, your bad beats, and you just keep going and going and going. It's fantastic. Whether you're at a sports bar, sitting on your couch, hanging out, you love the interaction with your boys, and just talking about the action. Well, we thought to ourselves, hey, how do we expand this? Our friend group's awesome. We have multiple threads, but what if we actually brought this to the masses? Walking around asking for phone numbers, it's a little creepy these days. So we figured, what the hell, let's start a podcast. And when you look at the podcasts out there today, a lot of them are touts. A lot of them are trying to get you to, come in behind the paywall for whatever reason. It's more about them. It's got nothing to do with you. They're not interested in what you're doing. We are. That's the difference here. So Casual Chaos, the sports community, the sports wagering community is all about the interaction with the audience and, like I said, soon-to-be fans. We're going to talk about what we bet because that's what we do, but the reality is this podcast is about you, the community that we're looking to build. So we're going to encourage you to send in your tickets, interact with us on all of our socials, and really let's get this conversation going about what your action is. And we don't care if you're betting $1, we don't care if you're betting $100,000 and everything in between. And if you like parlays, if you like over-unders, if you like teasers, you shouldn't like teasers, but if you do, we want to hear about it. All right. So that's what the community is all about. That's what this podcast is all about. So let's just jump into it.
Jay, let me stop you there. Selfishly speaking, and I mentioned this to you before, my wife is a lot happier with me drinking here at the house and talking about sports and wagering and stuff like that than at a bar. So, selfishly speaking, we're in it for that too, or at least I am.
But it sounds like we're going to talk tickets?
Well, yeah, we're going to talk tickets. I mean, I think we have to put a little cap on what Bubba just said, because it is 10:09 on a school night. So just so the audience knows, we're recording this at 10:09 Eastern time. The Duke-Arizona game just tipped off. So if you've been paying attention to March Madness and college basketball, we witnessed Alabama putting up just an unbelievable number, over 100 in the tournament, things you don't hear of. Florida just cashed as well. We've got some funny things to talk about later on that Florida game. But as Butch just pointed out, or I'm sorry, Jeff just pointed out, we are going to talk tickets. Talking tickets is one of the segments of this show. As you guys get to know us and get to know the program a little bit better, when we talk tickets, this is actually your submissions coming in, the fan base, the audience, and we're going to review them. We're going to talk highs. We're going to talk lows. We're going to talk about tickets that have already cashed. We're going to talk about tickets that have already lost. And in some cases, we're going to just talk about how awful some of these plays were. It's nothing personal. It's just reality.
It's all in good fun. Hey, real quick, back to that Bama game. Did you guys see that they shot 25 for 51 from three?
That's above average.
I mean, that's 75 points right there. 25 for 51 for three. That's insanity. I think that's a tournament. I think 22 was the tournament record, so they went far.
Is that normal for them? Are they known as a three-point shooting team?
They are. Their coach believes in it, but I don't know if they've.
That's an absurd number. That's an absurd number of attempts too. 51.
Yeah, and I think BYU was, certainly complicit in that, because they're another team that they love to run up and down the floor, and traded threes is something that they do. But yeah, that's insanity. So yeah. They almost shot 50. I mean, they shot 51 threes and they almost shot 50%. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. So, what's up, Ash?
Well, I got a little bit of remorse here, as we talked about before the show. The one play I liked today was the over in that game, and I talked myself out of it because 179 and a half, depending on what book you were looking at, is a daunting number. And Bama said, nope, we'll just keep shooting. We're going to come back and explain a little bit more about what we're doing here with the community, but I think you were right, but Jeff. I keep calling you Butch. So for those that don't know, Jeff and I have known each other for a long, long time, so I might slip up on this nickname thing, but we'll try to keep it clean moving forward. Let's talk tickets. What's the first ticket, guys?
All right, so let's talk.
I've got a ticket here. It's from Ant-Man. He's got a $25 parlay through Hard Rock Bet, under 38.5 in the Michigan Panthers at Memphis Showboats game, 12 o'clock this Sunday. By the way, this is football.
Yeah.
In April. So.
Yeah. What football league?
UFL, baby. UFL.
So he parlayed that under with the Birmingham Stallions giving 7 points, and 25 is going to win them 93. I just didn't know football was going to be on, but somebody mentioned this is the Rocks League.
Well, so it was the XFL, and they merged with the other league that was out there. So now there's only one spring league, and it's the UFL. So that's what this is. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure. Right now, he's the only one that's bet on it, so I think he might have moved some lines, so you might want to get in quickly.
Was that the Birmingham Boat Show boats? Because I couldn't tell you a single team in that league. Come on, what are we doing?
No. Well, they're named the Stallions, for clarity's sake, but no, I don't have a clue either. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, anybody who's watched the spring football the past couple of years. It's not awful. And now that the leagues are merging together, I mean, hopefully it'll be decent. We'll see what happens.
Not
but
bad.
yeah, but this guy's on board already. I mean, he's got what? So what did you say? He's got the under, and he's got Birmingham -7, huh? So all right, I'll be rooting for you.
Must be a defensive league. Listen, this is good for the audience to understand. We're going to talk about everything here. We're in the middle of March Madness, but this program again, it's about building a community. So we want to hear from you what you're playing. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, UFL. Everybody's waiting for football, the NFL, NCAA football to come, but we got a long baseball season ahead. We got golf. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about. But we're in the middle of talking tickets, so let's get back to it.
Are we going to talk about the CBI tournament semifinals?
You mean Incarnate Word?
Yeah.
On Tuesday?
Yeah.
Submitted by the Rain Man? Let's talk about it. I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's go. We know that ticket cashed.
So he sent me a text after it hit, and he's like, "I'm undefeated so far on Casual Chaos bets," and got to give him credit. He was at the time.
To be clear, 1-0 is undefeated.
Yes, 1-0 is undefeated.
But he's no longer 1-0. I take it, right?
No, he is not. No, he.
What
same
happened?
night. It was it was short lived. He lost the parlay that same night. So.
Oh, was that the crazy hockey parlay?
Yes, it was the one where the Bolts scored 6 goals, and the 2 guys he picked to score did not score.
Yeah. That happens.
The one thing I could promise everybody is I will not be talking hockey. So, never a sport I really got into, but luckily, JayAsh and Bubba consider themselves at least novice hockey fans. So, we got that going for us, but you won't hear anything from me. So, that's a promise.
Know enough to get into trouble, probably not enough to get out of trouble, but we'll keep the conversation flowing. So we talked about Incarnate Word, we talked about the football play, and again, just a little flavor here. But we want to show the diversity of the audience. I'm going to keep saying fan base because eventually you will become fans. And we've got a ticket I think Bubba wants to talk about. Bubba, let's talk about this one because not only is it eye-opening, but we're, again, 10-15 games. Some games have already closed. This ticket's got it needs some hope. How's that?
Yeah, it's 4 straight bets on the spread. He took this guy Bobby V from Chicago. Now, Bobby V to me is like Bobby Valentino, the R&B singer. That's Bobby V for me.
Bobby Valentine, the ex-Mets manager.
Right. So I don't know who this Bobby V is. I mean, I know him through channels, but
fake mustache.
Probably, I would assume. But anyway,
not everybody will get that reference, but I'm with you, Ash. Go ahead.
So he put northwards of 30 grand, 33 to be exact, on each of the underdogs tonight against the spread. I'll read them out. He had Arizona plus 9.5, which just started. He's got BYU plus 5, Arkansas plus 5.5, and Maryland plus 6. And 2 of those are losers. The BYU and the Maryland are both losers.
So 33K to win 30K on each of those bets. 2 already down, so we're down 66K. Best we could do is split and lose.
Oh, with the juice, he's going to lose 6. Yeah,
he's going to lose 6 grand tonight.
I'm sure he would be fine with that, though, if that's how it ends up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, but I'll tell you this, Bobby V. I love his brother's restaurant, Eddie V's. I don't know if they are related or not, but I always have a good time at Eddie V's. So hopefully he's there at the bar, having a drink, trying to figure out what's next. So, all right. Do we have one more play we're talking about? I think we are. I think we're talking about a golf play. Are we not?
I think so.
Oh, I think we're talking about just a little flavor for the first round leader.
Is it already cashing?
It's in.
Wait, are we talking live golf or PGA golf?
No, we're talking PGA golf. No one talks live golf. No one talks live golf until it's major time. But we're talking Texas Children's Open, little Texas golf tournament. Alejandro Tosti, 101 to be the first round leader. Little $2 wager to win $202. He's sitting right there in a 4-way tie, so that's going to cash. We've got a we've got darkness there. So
who put that ticket in?
I don't know, some guy named Casual Chaos 12. Might be your host, JayAsh.
He's probably wishing he put 33,000 on that.
Seriously, but that's not what we do at 100 to 1. It's a little taste, it's a little flavor. So unless our guy that's currently on the 16th hole here, let's pull up his name in real time. Can't find him. Taylor Dixon is the only thing that can crush that bet. He's -3, so unless he goes 3 under through his final 3 holes, which is not probable, but it's possible, that's going to cash. So we'll take it. We'll take an early win here on Talking Tickets and the Casual Chaos podcast. So, all right, let's shift gears a little bit here. Let's get off of Talking Tickets and just a little freestyle. What do you got going on?
So I saw this earlier today. We were talking about the Yankees earlier, and of course this has to do with the odds because nobody necessarily thinks they're going to be the worst team in baseball. But BetESPN put up a post that said the most money through their site that's been bet on a team that won't make the playoffs this year is the Yankees. So that's interesting. People are dumping money on the Yankees not making the playoffs.
Wow.
We'll see if that comes to pass or not. I also saw something else that was kind of funny. This is going back to last week, but Houston was playing Southeast Illinois, I think. Southeast Illinois. And somebody threw up a bet on, I can't remember if it was FanDuel or DraftKings, but one of those internet sites. Somebody threw up a $2,000 bet that would pay $2,025. So they risked $2,000 to win $25. Now, it was a pretty safe bet, obviously, right? I don't think anybody thought Houston was going to lose, but still, it's a little comical, $25.
Sure thing's a sure thing, yeah.
I mean, $25. Does that buy you a pizza nowadays? I mean, I don't know.
Not on Uber Eats anyway. Yeah.
maybe a frozen pizza, but not a good one.
Uber Eats, we love you. Feel free to be a sponsor of the podcast. But Jeff, what you're talking about there reminds me of the movie Heat and one of our favorite lines. But baby, I don't think you understand risk reward. Like you're risking too much for not a big reward. Who wants to risk 25? Who wants to win $25 on a $2,000 bet?
I don't know.
So this was plus 350 today, I think, on some books. But our producer told us about it. Tyler O'Neill of the Orioles, 6 consecutive opening days with a home run, and he was plus 350 to hit one today, and he did.
6 years in a row. It's pretty incredible,
That's insane.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we should have been riding that for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. Footnote that. We'll put a link in the bio next year.
For next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we're off of Talking Tickets, but I heard there's a new ticket that we should talk about. You can't place a bet on it because it hasn't been officially posted, but I think the promoters are working on it. I don't know if it's a Saudi-backed fight. I know they're trying to get a lot of things going on in boxing. As we've already discussed, we're going to talk about every sport on this podcast for the most part. Maybe not soccer. We apologize to the listeners in advance. If you're a big soccer fan, Premier League might not be for you, but stick around anyway. I think we should talk about, is it LeBron James versus Stephen A?
Yeah, I've heard that's whispered, right? Stephen A has a boxing background, supposedly.
Oh, I saw the video.
Is it boxing or MMA? Boxing?
That's boxing, yeah.
No, I think it's boxing. I think the odds are up on the screen right now. I'm not sure who set those odds. Seems a little skewed. Professional athlete versus announcer.
I mean, if you put LeBron at -3,000, that's probably still not good enough, So, yeah. Anyway, we're having fun with this, but
who do you got though?
Who do I got?
Yeah.
Come on now.
At -3,000.
I would have to bet a lot more than 3,000 to make it worth it, but of course LeBron's going to win that fight, so let's not kid ourselves.
I would be curious about the over/under. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the NBA, but thin-skinned LeBron, he's been known to hit the ground without being touched before. So, if you set a number of times LeBron hits the mat, I'm going to take the over every time. He just, this is something about his Penchant for falling.
Safe bet. I don't watch the NBA, but I watch ESPN. Safe bet.
So it's our first show, and you guys are already trying to cause us to have some enemies, huh?
No hashtags, and let's be honest, on our first episode, if LeBron or Stephen A. want to comment, we welcome it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it. Should we get into who's promoting this fight? Probably not. Let's move on. All right, so what we want to do here is, like we said, we want to build a community. Bubba and I are here in Tampa, Florida. Jeff's up outside of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. We wish he would be here, but, he still likes it up north. What we're trying to do in building this community is really just talk to people who really enjoy the sports wagering aspect. It's not about the money making. We're not a show that's going to be about touting like we talked about earlier. We're not going to, we'll talk about some trends and we'll talk about some things, but we don't have a system. We're not going to try to bring you into our system. We're not sucking you in behind a paywall. We just want to actually hear from you because, like our friends, it's just fun. It's just fun to interact and really talk about what we're doing anyway. We're watching these games, a little bit of money on it. You know what I mean? The parlays are fun. You can, bet small, win big. And we're going to be doing all kinds of sports and talking about all kinds of sports throughout this whole podcast series. We're really looking forward to football season because we have a lot of things that are going to be coming in football season that are unique, that are going to take podcasting and maybe live streaming to a whole new level is the goal. But, from now, we're coming up on April here through the Final Four, long season of baseball, a lot to talk about. We're going to have some fun. We want interaction from you guys. Bubba and I are going to be out in Tampa as well as our team in various sports bars and locations, just talking to people about what do you got today, right? It's just as simple as that. We're regular guys. We're not claiming to be professionals. I don't even know how you quantify that anymore. And we're certainly not celebrities or superstars that it's, a me world. Look how big I'm betting. No shame in that game. I love it. We still watch it. But the reality is we want to hear from you. Doesn't matter if you have $5 on a game or not. So we're going to wrap this first episode up of the podcast. We're going to do something every week to just kind of get a little juice with the hosts here and a little bragging rights as we go into next week. So what we're going to do, because we're in the Sweet 16 right now, is we're going to predict our Final Four wagers. Looking forward to this segment, actually. And what we each did is we put in a $50 parlay, and we're going to see, coming on the next pod, who has some bragging rights. So we're going to start with Jeff. What do you got?
Okay, so I did this sort of twofold. I wanted to get some value out of this, but I also wanted to pick teams that I thought had a legitimate chance to win. Of course, anybody in the Sweet 16 probably has a legitimate chance, but as far as getting to the Final Four, I actually went with 3 number 2 seeds and 1 number 1. The good news for me is that I'm 25% home. I had Bama and Florida get into the Final Four, and both those guys came in already. I also have Michigan State, and who's the 4th team? I'm blanking here. Tennessee. That's right, Tennessee. So I got Tennessee, I got Michigan State, I got Florida, and I got Bama. $50 bet pays $4,500, little over $4,500. So, like I said, 25% of the way home. Hopefully, when we meet again next week, all 4 teams will still be alive, and we'll have some fun.
Where did you place that wager?
I placed it at Parks Casino, right down the street here in Pennsylvania. So, well, not really down the street, but close enough down the street. So, Parks Casino in Pennsylvania, and if you guys are in the Northeast, definitely check it out. It's a good place to hang. Not sponsored, by the way. Just telling you, it's a good casino, good local casino. So,
still friends of the pod.
Yes, absolutely. Ash, what do you got?
I went a little bit different route. Same $50 bet like we talked about. I'm going to work bottom up if it's on the screen. I have the Duke Blue Devils minus 170. As much as I don't enjoy Duke, the reality is you're supposed to bet with your head, not your animosity. And even though I have 10x animosity.
We don't like Duke. Nobody likes Duke.
No, I've been more than part of one F Duke chant in my life, and the reality is it's just a good basketball team. I don't see anybody beating them, and even though it's a semi-close game right now,
yeah, I was gonna say it's close right now.
yeah, Arizona's scrappy, but it's Arizona. Again, Duke's up 9 minutes and 45 seconds, 10:28 Eastern time. Moving on, Florida already cashed. Florida minus 130. They still have to get through the Saturday game, but we're at least advancing there. I'm sure you'll talk about that soon, Bubba. And we have the Houston Cougars minus 135. I'm a big fan of this team. Not sure if they're going to win it outright, but I don't think a lot of people realize how good the defense is. But more importantly, in years past, they've always had a good defense. They usually come up short offensively. This year, the offense is on par with the defense. So I definitely see them advancing. And then my final pick there is Coach Beard. And I'm not talking about Coach Beard from Ted Lasso. I'm talking about the coach of Ole Miss and the Running Rebs at plus 800 to turn this into a $50 parlay to pay out 2201. I just think Beard's an incredible coach, and in the tournament, coaches do matter. You got a lot of turnover in these schools, a lot of new guys, and I understand it's a 30-game season for most, but the right coach really pulls out the best in these kids, and he's just an unbelievable coach. And I'm going to go with these four. I think it's a safe play. It's a lot of chalk and one upset, but I'll take 2,200 on a $50 bet. Bubba, what do you got?
So I woke up this morning about 5 o'clock, and I put this bet in. I think it's 7:21 through the Hard Rock app here in Tampa. I took the Auburn Tigers. I think they're athletic. I think that's a good pick. It's good value, minus 140. Then I took Houston, who I talked about with you guys before we started here. I think Houston and Duke are probably arguably the two best teams in the country. So I went with them, and then this is where it gets funny. I'm wearing a Florida Gator hat. I bet on the Florida Gators tonight, and I put them in this $50 parlay. That's why I mentioned I hadn't had my coffee yet. I took the Maryland. I took Maryland to come out of that bracket and get to the Final Four at plus 450. And then I followed it up with, you guys aren't going to say anything about that?
No, go ahead. We'll let you finish. Go ahead.
And then I took Alabama, who covered easily, so they're moving on too. They got to win. Do they play Saturday as well, I think?
They will, yeah.
Okay. So my 50, hypothetically, would have won me, or potentially would have won me, $3,487.
All right, so the bad news is you're out of that bet, right? You're done. So
$50 down the drain.
The good news is, and you alluded to this a second ago, is you actually did throw some money on Florida straight up today, right?
I did. I put it on the spread, straight bet, 280, won me 250. So I got my 50 back, but it's painful to see them pull it off tonight.
I think it's good content, guys. The reality is, if people are watching or listening, and they're those people who like to put in comments, we're going to check a lot of boxes here, because you're going to get blown up. You don't know what you're talking about in the comments, because you already lost your parlay, but you covered it. You hedged it.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter it was unconscious. It doesn't matter it was a pre-coffee induced coma, but you covered your bet. That's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the stock market, they think you're a genius. So cover calls, baby. Cover calls.
Right. So remember, folks, this is a community. We're going to count on you to spread the word. Tell your friends. The more people that listen, the more popular this pod becomes. Obviously, the more tickets we get. Our hope is, Ashton alluded to this a little earlier ago. Our hope is that we will be doing actual live broadcasts, if you will, pods, whatever you want to call them, at some point. So you'll literally be able to send us a ticket of a game that's playing, or if you're doing somebody's going to score a touchdown in the second quarter, or all that kind of nonsense. I mean, we'll literally be able to pull that up on air and see if you hit or whatever. So that is the goal for us a few months down the road. So spread the word. Get it out to your friends, get it out to your family members, anybody who's interested in gambling, sports gambling, that is. And the one disclaimer: bet with your head. Okay, don't be silly. This is for entertainment purposes. This pod is, and so should the sports gambling be. But hopefully, this grows to where we think it's going to grow, and it'll be a good time for all of us. So that's the key. It's community. Okay, this isn't ours. This is yours, and the more that you guys interact with us, the better everything will be.
Yeah, to your point, Jeff, we can't do it without the community of people giving us something to talk about. So it's about you guys, not us.
Yep.
Bring it in, folks.
Bubba said that much more succinctly than I did. So good job, Bubba.
Bring it in, folks. The reality is the conversation's casual, the wagering's chaos. Welcome to Casual Chaos, the sports gambling community. This is our first episode. It's not our last. We hope it's not your last either. Come back, follow us on socials, send in your tickets. Let's keep this thing moving. We're going to have some fun. We're excited. Like we said, it's a long time coming. We're so glad you could join us. We're going to leave you tonight with a 12-5 start in the Texas Tech game. We're going to come back next week. We're going to talk about who has the bragging rights on this podcast. We know who doesn't have the bragging rights next week. That's Bubba. But Jeff and I are still alive. Bubba's going to eat some crow. We're going to have some fun with it.
I'm 2 for 2 tonight so far.
No one cares. No one cares. All right. But in all seriousness, guys, thanks for doing this. To producer Tyler behind the scenes, appreciate all the effort tonight. For those that don't know, may have been a little bit of sweat getting this off the ground, but
PT producer Tyler,
he's a PTPer. We love him. All right, so we're gonna see you guys all next week. Thanks for joining us, Casual Chaos Podcast, the sports betting community. Thanks a lot.
All right, take care, everybody.